Okay, I think it is time for us to start so that, we can end it on time as well. Hi, everyone. Very good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for joining with us today. This is the part 3 of the webinar series that we're doing specifically for all students, from Indian high schools. My name is Apurva. I work as the regional director with the University of Arizona. I'm based in Mumbai, India, and I'm a resource for all students who are looking to explore options with us in terms of the different programs that we have, the admission process, etc. And with me, I have a very special guest who's joining us from Tucson, and it's very early for her there, and she's gladly accepted our request to be present here today. She's Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for joining. Kelly is the Associate Director for Recruitment and Global Outreach. And of course, we'll know more about her, as we go along in the presentation.
Thanks for having me. Good morning from here and good evening to you all. I'm excited to present and get to know you a little bit today as well.
Amazing, amazing. So without any delay, I'm going to quickly start with an overview of University of Arizona. I'm sure most of you out here already have met us, at a couple of occasions, maybe in your schools, maybe somewhere else, virtually, of course. But this is Wilbur, and he is, extending his warm welcome to all of you. So he's pretty excited, and hopefully, he wants to see all of you on the campus. So this is Wilbur for you guys. He's probably your first, introduction to the University of Arizona. So a little bit about University of Arizona. We were established in 1885. That's correct. Really long back, and it's a research land grant university in the state of Arizona. We are located in Tucson, which is in the southwestern part of US and has pretty much global reach, and you'll see how. We are one of the 62 members of the Association of American Universities, and lots of revenue is spent over research and other resources in the university. There are about 35,000 plus undergraduate students spread across 4 or 5 years in the campus. And every year we have about between 7 to 10% of international students that come in. Most students that apply with us, I think probably almost 7 or 8 out of 10 students receive scholarship or some kind of financial aid. It's mostly merit-based scholarship. And as we go along, I will tell you, how can you apply for it as well. It's a very diverse campus. So you will see that there are students from more than 100 different nationalities that participate every year. And nationality is not only on our flyers or all the brochures that you get. It is extremely diverse campus, guys. There are about 300 plus majors that we offer, so there is something for everybody. There are excellent combinations of major and minors that our students enjoy and are really passionate about and are happy to pick. We are number 1 in terms of research and development amongst the Arizona public institutions. And about the student life, I think that is the most exciting part for any undergraduate student. You really want to know what are the resources for you on campus. We have amongst the top 10 recreation centers. I think Kelly, who is closer to the campus, can tell you more about it. We have about 600 clubs and organizations, so there is something for everybody. If you're interested in science, technology, or maybe music, or even something to do with sports, these are started by our really talented students, and you will see that the passion is there everywhere to do something different, to do something out of the box. Our class size, we try to keep it minimum, of course, except for some really popular majors. You'll probably see some more classmates joining with you, but we try to keep the student to faculty ratio to the minimum. We are amongst the top 20 public research universities. Again, extremely proud to be in the top 10 as far as the NASA funding is also concerned. It's a research university. Millions of dollars are spent every year, on different research projects that our students take up. Okay, little bit more about the student life and the faculty. Of course, the faculty is some of the best. They're not just from the academic background, but they're also from the industry. So they not just come with, a lot of academic or bookish knowledge, but I think they come with a whole lot of first-hand experience, which is what, US universities are known for, and especially at the University of Arizona, where we truly believe that, by the time you graduate, we want you to be, employable and job ready. So that is one of our first, agendas when we have you on campus. These are some of the other popular rankings where we are in the top 40 public universities, and these are the latest rankings by the US News and World Report. Since online has been a way of life for most of us, in the past year and a half or so, I think these are extremely relevant rankings. University of Arizona has always done programs online. I think most of you probably do not know, or we never had the need to really explore it because, we could always go to the campus. But these programs have been running since the past couple of years. We have fully online bachelors. We also do fully online master's program. And here you can see that we are ranked, for our business and psychology program in the top 10 in the US. So they are pretty good. Okay, something about where you want to, where you stay or where, the campus is located, because I'm sure the location is of prime importance for all students, especially if you want to spend those precious, years away from home, and, you want to explore the town where you're living in. And I think with us, especially me when I was your age, I knew just a few cities in the US because they were all glamorized by all the Bollywood movies I saw over the years. So, but, later I realized, of course, it's a huge country and there are many more cities that you can look at to stay. Just like in India, how, Mumbai, Delhi, and, these are the popular cities. But of course, there are, the tier 2, tier 3 cities, which are also, pretty developed and have some amazing institutions in terms of education. US is, again, the same. I think what really makes a difference is the cost of living. Tucson is a very sunny, laid back town. It's a student city. And, it has a whole, culture and mood going of all international students. It is Arizona's second largest city. The temperature, the winter temperature, or even the temperature throughout the year is, I think, closer to our home, that is India. So I think a lot of you who are kind of hesitant about how the climatic conditions are going to be, especially because you're going to spend so much time there, I think Arizona or Tucson is a great place to be. So you're not, going to face any extreme climatic conditions out there, especially Indian students who are not used to, those. It's also ranked as fun city. Has great, outdoor living, especially, if you want like the big city feel, but also not give up on the whole, that kind of landscape that gives you, the opportunities to bike or trek or hike. I think Tucson is a great place to do that. These are some of our popular majors. You will see a lot of our engineering majors that we're going to talk about today are up there. I think aerospace, chemical engineering, these, I keep getting a lot of questions about these from all of you. And there are, of course, many more. Like I mentioned, there are about 300 plus majors. These are the general admission requirement, guys. If you have more questions, I can take them up, after the webinar. You can write to me. But this is what generally, we look at, or we want you to be prepared with before you're applying to us. So we need last 3 years of your coursework. So let's just say if you are currently in your 12th grade, we will need your 9th, 10th, 11th, and your 12th predictive grades if they are available. But please do not hesitate to write to us as to what is available. I know the pandemic has delayed, your results and, the grades that you all have been getting from schools here in India and the whole system. And we totally understand that. It's just a matter that, you have to communicate that to us so that we can tell you, your next steps. We look at an overall GPA of 3. I know a lot of you belong to different boards, whether IB or state board or Cambridge, and you do not really have to do the calculation to convert it. The university counselors, admission counselors will do that for you. Okay, but you can reach out to us to know like an approximate estimate so that we can tell you if you are eligible to apply. SAT, ACT was of course needed, but not currently for this year. So even for fall of 2022, it is not going to be an admission requirement. That does not mean I am discouraging you from taking that up. I truly believe that, you know, it's an experience. It is an experience that an undergraduate student should take. So if you have the chance in your country, in your city, where you can take it up, maybe take it up. There are some other US universities that might need it. You can also use these scores later, you know, to maybe get an English proficiency waiver, or even if you're applying for some offbeat or, you know, academic jobs on campus. I think, you know, the scores might give you like an edge over the others. So if you have the opportunity, take it, but it's not going to change your scholarship, or it is not going to be a deciding factor for your admission. Okay, personal statement and letters of recommendation are optional in most cases, except for if you're applying for an honors program and some other competitive majors, you might have to, you know, put them, but otherwise they're optional. Let's look at some of the study options. These were there until last year. And of course, this year, the campus is fully functional in person, but we have offered students in person, flexi in person, which I believe is still, you know, applicable. There are live online courses, which a lot of students in India took up, which literally means that you sign up for the same main campus course, but it's just that you're attending live from wherever you are. And then maybe after a semester or two, you can go to the main campus, especially this year when the visa, you know, offices all around India were shut for the longest time. And then when they suddenly opened, students couldn't get the slots. So a lot of students opted for this. They still were on track with their program, and, you know, they could resume to the campus, you know, whenever they got their visa. So I think this flexibility is not offered by a lot of American universities, but University of Arizona has really thought ahead of time, and we've been offering this since last year. Another, you know, offering by us, you know, because of the pandemic, of course, is the customized degree paths. Again, you can begin your study in India. You can spend up to 1 or 2 semesters here in India, and then you can take a transition to the main campus. It is extremely simple. It is very cost effective because you're going to save on all the living cost for almost maybe 6 months or a year. You're also going to save on the tuition, because the tuition is, like you can see on the screen, it's just 1/4 of what you will be spending as the main campus cost. Okay, so this is another great option for all you students who are little hesitant to travel, or maybe your parents are just not quite ready to send you immediately due to the pandemic. You can choose this option. But of course, we would love to have you on campus, and probably nothing can really replicate, you know, the whole experience that, you know, is on campus. But this is again a very close alternative to keep you all on track with your undergraduate studies. Okay, now apart from the Arizona Global, this is another latest offering by the University of Arizona, which I would definitely want you all to check out, because A, it is very unique. B, you know, it gives you a lot in return, and I'll tell you how. So Arizona has introduced the Academy, You Arizona Academy, which literally means that, you know, while you're still in high school, that is your 11th or your 12th grade, that is the last 2 years, you can take up college courses. Correct, that's right. College courses, which means that, you know, courses that are done by undergraduate students in their first year, you can take them in advance. Okay, these courses are offered throughout the year, and they are online. So, you know, even during your summer break, if you want to utilize your summer effectively, you can take these up. One course will earn you 3 credits. Okay, and these credits, if you understand, you know, the whole US credit system, 3 credits, you know, can be transferred for doing one course while you're doing your undergraduate studies. This is similar to how you get your IB credits or other A-level credits, but the curriculum is very different. So you will not see an overlapping curriculum, what you are, of course, covering in IB or your other boards, but this is a very different curriculum. These are specially designed courses, right from introduction to sustainability to architecture, archaeology, etc. There are different programs that we offer under this. So you might want to check them out. We have two intakes. One is the spring, the other is the fall. The tuition fees is about 37,000 US dollars, and they are frozen for all 4 years. So you don't have to pay increased cost the next year. The tuition, and the living cost is approximately about 13 to 14,000 US dollars. And we have about 23 dorms on campus where you can live, but it is not mandatory for you to live on campus. You can always, of course, choose to live off campus too. Every year, the outstanding academic performance, gets certain recognition from the University of Arizona in the form of scholarships. It is called as the Global Wildcat Award for freshmen or transfer students. For the fall of 2022, it was about 20,000 US dollars. This year, I think y'all are pretty lucky because it is certainly going to go a little up. So try your best, to get the best. And I personally, I recommend you all to apply before the 1st of November, which is like, a priority deadline. If you do that, then, you are, of course, you will get an opportunity to apply for higher scholarships. Your living gets sorted because the dorms get full, pretty easily for us. The campus is beautiful. So I'm sure, once you look at it, you wouldn't want to live outside. So a lot of things are sorted if you apply before the 1st of November. Okay. You can reach out to us in India. Me and my colleague Anju are in India. I'm in Mumbai. Anju is in Delhi. We interact with you all on various occasions. You could reach out to us, write to us to know more about the university. That's it from me. So I am going to quickly stop sharing my screen so that Kelly can take over and introduce us to the whole engineering family.
All right, wonderful. Can you see my screen okay? Does that look good? All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for the overview and introduction. As Apurva said, my name is Kelly Ratliff, and I am on the team for the College of Engineering here at the University of Arizona in Tucson. So that's where I am coming to you from today. Behind my screen here, you can see Old Main. That is the heart of the campus, right in the middle of the historic part of our school. And the building that I work in is actually, you can't see it here, but just to the left in the engineering building. So the College of Engineering has been part of the University of Arizona all the way back to the beginning. In fact, one of the first 3 graduates of the University of Arizona was in our mining engineering program. So that's really amazing. We've been on the University of Arizona campus for many years and a long history and tradition. And so I'm happy to give you a little overview of the College of Engineering today, all the things that we offer and all the experiences that we have. I will also keep an eye on the chat, and there will be time at the end for any questions that you have. So as we go along, feel free to think of anything that you have in your mind and pop it in there, and we will be sure to answer those at the end of the presentation. So just a little bit more specifically in terms of applying to engineering. So we are just a part of that UA online application. So when you go to apply, if you're thinking about an engineering degree, you will pick engineering all majors if you're applying as a first-year student, as a freshman. If you are coming completed, you will just select the engineering program that you have in mind. So it is a little bit of a unique step, and I will talk about that here in a moment at why we do it that way. But essentially, you're just applying to the College of Engineering, and then you will tell us later on in your first semester, usually, which major you want to choose. So when you're going through and self-reporting those classes, as Apurva talked about, you want to be sure to include everything that you've taken previously. If you are having any college credit already, you want to make sure to submit all the transcripts that you have and previously engineering did require a test score, but in line with the rest of the university, we also are not. So that's important to note. Those are not required. Another place that you might want to use those, if you do have it, is for math placement right before school starts. So, excuse me. That's another great reason that you might want to submit it if you have it. But again, it won't hurt your admission chances if you don't submit it. It's just one of those things that you can include if you would like, if you have it. So that application for engineering is also available now for spring and for next fall. We do not have a deadline, a priority deadline for engineering. But again, we do encourage you to apply as soon as possible, so that way you can get everything in line as you think about your options for the coming year. So in terms of admission requirements for engineering, we are really looking for that strong foundation in the math and science, because that's what engineers do. They use math and science to solve problems and to make the world better. So we are really looking for the strong foundation in math and science in your high school curriculum, so that way you are set up for success. So of course, our international admissions team will help to review your application and your coursework to be sure that we are looking at that accurately in terms of requirements for the University of Arizona. Of course, that GPA is important for international students. That English proficiency piece is also important. So again, that's another place where you can use a test score or your TOEFL. But all of those things are also lined out on our website, or you can work with our international admissions team, in addition to using Apurva and people like me on my team as resources, just to figure out the requirements in advance if you need any additional clarification. But again, really that math and science piece in high school, or if you're coming in as a transfer student, is really the most important in terms of review for the College of Engineering, because that's going to help you be really prepared to move through those courses in engineering very seamlessly. So a little bit more about what our college looks like. Typical GPA average for incoming first-year students for us is a 3.75 GPA. Typically, we're looking for at least around a 3.5 is for engineering. We always have about 600 or so new first-year students. Typically, in any given year, about 10% of that is international students. So we do have a strong showing from our international students here in the College of Engineering from all over the world, which we think is a really great thing. We are higher for women in engineering than most schools like us, so we are really proud of that as well. We have a really diverse student body in our engineering classes, as well as amongst our faculty. So we also have faculty who are from all walks of life, all backgrounds, and all parts of the world, who bring their expertise and education to our classes. We have around 3,000 students in our college. So the university as a whole, again, is about 36,000 undergraduates, and about 3,000 of those are in engineering. So the great thing about that is within the College of Engineering at U of A, you have a smaller community, more of a family atmosphere where you really get to know your peers and your instructors. But at the U of A at large, you have a lot of different opportunities to get involved. One of the things we're also really proud of is first year retention. So 92% of our first year students return to U of A their second year, which is one of the highest retention rates in the university. And so I think that really speaks to the support that we offer in our college. And I'll tell you a little bit about those options here in a moment. So as I mentioned, when you apply, you're just going to see on that application, engineering all majors. This is because we have a lot of programs to choose from, and we really want you to be sure that you're on the right track. So many times students have in mind that they want an engineering degree, but you might not be sure exactly what that means for you. You might have just a passion for math and science, and you're not quite sure how to apply that yet. So no one is going to stop you from declaring the major you have in mind. So for example, if you know you want to do mechanical engineering, your first semester, you can go ahead and let us know. I know for sure I want to do mechanical engineering, and that's what I choose. but you will have time to explore and just make sure that you get to know all of our programs. So it's not competitive. There's no caps on any of those majors. We're just simply providing you that first semester experience so that you can get to know all of our departments a little bit better. So this is really designed with your success in mind and to give you that little bit of flexibility in your first semester and in your first year. So here is a list of all the different programs that we offer. I love this photo. This is actually our Baja off-road race car. This is one of the clubs that you can get involved with as an engineering student. So from A to Z, we have aerospace engineering all the way to systems engineering, which we were actually the first systems engineering department in the United States, which is really awesome. So systems engineering is really what it sounds like, looking at a system. That could be a factory, that could be a hospital, that could be a theme park. Systems engineers work for Disney World, for example, and help figure out how to make lines move quicker and things work together more seamlessly. So systems engineers work on the process of how things work and how other engineers do their jobs and make that more efficient. Our newest program is in software engineering. So if you are a person who is interested in computers and coding, but you're thinking more about, I want to do maybe developing software, or, kind of from start to finish, how would I do a whole life cycle for a software program, or making that process more efficient or better. Software engineering has components of computer engineering, but also components of that systems engineering degree that I just talked about. So you could work in a lot of different industries with that type of degree. And all of these majors can be applied in a lot of different settings. One of the other really unique offerings we have is optical sciences and engineering. That is the study of light. So that can also be applied for anything from making giant telescope mirrors to working on the smallest optical fibers for healthcare research. So a lot of these majors have many applications. So part of that intro course you'll take your first semester with us is really breaking all of these down. For example, in civil engineering, there are 6 different emphasis areas. So maybe you're interested in transportation, or maybe you're interested in infrastructure and bridges and things of that sort. So part of that intro course, again, is really breaking all of these down and just making sure you know the options that are available to you so you can select the major that will get you to where you want to go. If you are interested in medical school in the future, many of our programs can be pre-med degrees, of course, biomedical engineering, or even something like environmental or chemical engineering can easily be made into pre-med tracks. So a lot of different options. I'm happy to put some links in the chat where you can look at all of our 4-year degree plans. And so I'll try to pop those in here at the end of the presentation. But again, you will get to learn all about these in your first semester as you really narrow down or hone in on what you like to do. And you can frequently pair these programs together as a major and a minor, or sometimes even a double major if you are really, really interested in 2 of these program areas. For example, aerospace and mechanical engineering go together very well. Biomedical engineering and electrical and computer engineering pair together very well, especially if you're interested in working on medical devices or something like that. A lot of different choices, 16 different majors just in the School of Engineering. And so our job is to help you really hone in on where you want to go from here. So in that intro course, you're going to be not just meeting all of the departments, but you're also going to be diving right into hands-on engineering work, including group projects where you will design and compete with different activities, one of which is an annual solar oven throwdown is what we call that. You can see a photo of our students here who are working on their solar oven. Tucson is sunny almost every day of the year, if you can believe that. So we use the power of that sun to learn about engineering and how you can design and prototype and test and improve something that you create with other engineering students. So this is part of that course is you're learning about the majors, but you're also learning those foundations for engineering design. And those you will take into all of your curriculum as you go through a 4-year design sequence in your major. So you will be doing hands-on activities from the first semester all the way to your senior year when you do your senior capstone, which I will talk about here in just a moment. So as Apurva mentioned, we do have a lot of dorm options to pick from here on our campus. And actually, one of the things I love most about the U of A is the whole campus is 1 square mile. So everything is very contained. You are close to your friends, you're close to your buildings and your classes and resources. But we have 2 engineering dorms that you can pick from if you'd like to live with other engineering students. One is in Yuma Hall, which is really close to that middle part of campus, that old main building, the engineering building, the student union. And one is in our honors dorm. So if you're interested in also applying to the honors college, there is a floor or 2 floors of students who are in STEM programs like math, engineering, the sciences, or pre-med, for example, who can all live and take classes together. So that is also a very convenient option for you to consider. But no matter where you live, even if you're living off campus in an apartment with friends, you can still access a lot of great support in our college from your peers, from our staff, and from your faculty. So all of our faculty will do office hours where you can meet with them and talk about the curriculum, ask questions, and hear about them as well, get to know them. We have an academic advisor who will work with you in your major and as well as in your first year so that you stay on track and to graduate in 4 years. All of our degrees are designed to be done as 4-year pathways, and most of our students do finish on time. So those advisors are going to be helping you along the way. We have free tutoring drop-in all over campus for math, science, your English classes, chemistry, all of those foundational courses. And then in our college, we offer free peer tutoring for up to those higher level math classes and those other additional physics and chemistry that you take in engineering. So you can access those at different times of the week and on the weekends, dropping in to work with your peers on additional problems or preparing for exams. So these are all free resources that you can utilize at any point in your career from the first year and beyond. So one of the really great things that you should get involved with as a student here on campus is undergrad research. So as Apurva mentioned, we are a part of the Association of American Universities, and we are a big research institution. So this means that the faculty that are teaching the classes that you're in are also working on some really incredible things in their own research. So this photo here, this is Dr. Jennifer Barton. She is a faculty member in many of our engineering programs. She also is the director of our Bio 5 Institute here on campus. And this is a photo of her lab where she works on tissue optics. So one of the areas that she's working in is the detection of cancer using optical fibers. She does have undergrad students and graduate students working in her laboratory. And so you will find undergrad students in all different research labs on campus. One of the students that I work with, who is actually an international student from India, Mansi, is working in a laboratory at the Bio Institute herself. And so, you can work in something like healthcare, or maybe you're really interested in outer space. We're a top recipient of NASA space grants, so we get a lot of funding from the government to work on space research. So you might be able to work in a lab where you are thinking about how we send food to the moon or to Mars if humans ever end up living there. So there's a lot of things that you can get involved with as a student, and you don't have to be a graduate student to do these things. As early as your freshman or sophomore year, you can work in a research lab. And many times the way students get these opportunities is just by talking to their faculty members. So one of the pieces of advice I would give you, no matter where resources, and many times they can work with you to get a placement in the laboratory on campus. So it's a great thing to try out and really get to hone your skills outside of the classroom. Another way you might want to do that is by joining a club. So in our college, we have almost 40 different student groups. Those range from professional organizations where you can network and do career development to our design, build, and compete clubs. That photo I showed earlier of that race car, that's one of our design and build teams. And these clubs are open to all students. So you could work on designing and competing a rocket ship. You could work on that car team. You can work, we have a concrete canoe club. It sounds crazy, but it works. We have a club that works on building medical devices, for example. And of course, we have general interest groups. One of our most engaged groups is the Society of Women Engineers, and they do a lot of professional networking opportunities that are open to all students in the college. So we definitely encourage you to get involved with one of these clubs. And we always do a club fair at the beginning of the year where you can meet the different clubs and kind of see what options are available to you. I did see some messages, and someone actually sent me a direct message to talk about internships. So I certainly would like to talk about those. This photo is from Jessica. She worked at Disney for her internship as a computer engineer, and she's actually now working for Target Corporation as a software engineer. And she really used this Disney internship to take her career to that next level and help her in her career search. So most of our engineering students do at least one, if not 2, 3, or 4 internships. You may hear these referred to sometimes as a co-op, and typically a co-op is a longer internship experience. So that's maybe something you complete over a full year. Maybe you're doing it part-time while you're taking classes, but generally speaking, students will do these over the summer. That's usually the most popular option, but these are for real companies all over the US or even all over the world. And we also have options where you can go and do research at a school, maybe in Germany, or maybe you want to take a course in Australia. You can do those things as a student at U of A in your engineering degree and still stay on track with your curriculum, which is really nice. The great thing about engineering internships is they also pay generally very well, and sometimes can include an apartment or relocation for the summer if they're going to move you to work for them for a period of time. And the way you find these internships, you don't even have to leave the University of Arizona campus to find them. We do our own in-house career fairs, our own networking events, and some of those are just for engineering students. So we have our own engineering career fair that we offer every spring. For more than 25 years, we've hosted that event, and it's only for engineering students. So you're not competing with all 40,000 students on campus to talk to companies. It's only for students in our college. And then we have different focused career events all year. So in just a couple of weeks, for example, we are having our STEM career fair, and students will be able to either go online and meet with people one-on-one, or stop by in person and really get to network with companies that you want to work for. That includes local, smaller companies, but that also includes companies like Google or Microsoft or big, international companies that you have a chance to intern for. So most of our programs do not require an internship. However, some of them do. And so that means they're really going to provide that support to help you get these experiences along the way. So your senior year, after you complete all of these wonderful experiences and activities here on campus, you will work on a year-long project where you have a senior capstone, is what we call this. So you will work with a team of other engineers on a real project. So this will be for a corporate or industry sponsor. So maybe you're working for Caterpillar or Boeing or Honeywell or another big engineering company, and they will give you a problem to solve or something to produce for them. And so you will actually work with a mentor from that company and a budget of real money where you will be creating something, and you'll be able to show it off at our annual design day, which happens in the spring every year. And typically we have about 100 teams of students that work together So usually about 5 or 6 students on those projects. And with your sponsor, you will create something amazing. So the really cool thing about this is it gives you something very tangible to talk about when you are doing those job interviews your senior year. If you don't have something lined up already or something in mind, maybe you want to go to graduate school, this is still a really great thing that you can talk about in an interview and say, hey, I really did something, and I can show you an example of work that I've done for a company, for industry. So this is a really amazing program. It's very robust, and it will really set you up to do whatever you choose to do after you graduate. As I mentioned, we do have our own in-house STEM fairs, that industry expo that's just for engineering students. And all throughout the year, you can connect with employers and recruiters. We have days where you can drop in and have someone look at your resume with you and do those on-campus interviews or one-on-one meetings. But after graduation, most of our students will go right into an industry career with their bachelor's degree. So that's one of the wonderful things about engineering is you are work ready with your bachelor's degree. You do not have to get an advanced degree to work as an engineer. However, about 25 to 30% of our students will choose to take that engineering degree and perhaps do a master's program, perhaps do a PhD, or take that and go to medical school or to law school. Whatever you have in mind, an engineering degree can really help set you up to be successful. So that is just a broad overview, and I can see we have a lot of questions in the chat, so I'm going to pop in there. But this is how you can get in touch with our college. You can find a description of all the things we covered today and a lot more information on our website, which is engineering.arizona.edu. And a great place to get connected with us and learn more about the campus and about our students is to follow us. We do have an Instagram page, and we have students who do takeovers on there. That will start again in a couple of weeks, where you can follow along a student for the day, see the classes that they're taking, maybe the research they're doing, the jobs they're doing on campus, and it helps you get that idea of student life here. So I'll leave this slide up so you can find this link, but I am going to look in the chat and see if I can help answer any of these questions.
Sure. Thank you so much, Kelly. That was a fantastic presentation. I'm sure all the students present here today learned so much about the engineering department. We have a couple of questions already, so I'm going to just start shooting some questions to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so the first one is there a robotics club at UA? And do we have options for integrated master's program?
Yes, so there are a lot of options if you are interested in robotics. So for example, we have in our electrical and computer engineering department, I know of a lot of research happening in the robotics area. We do have clubs that you can get involved with. We, for example, have an autonomous vehicle club. We have a club that works on an autonomous underwater drone that they drive and program. And so if you were in robotics in high school, there are a lot of things that you can do with that interest area as an undergraduate student. You might also be interested in something like software engineering, for example, where you can work on kind of developing software systems in that area. I even know of a lab in the building that I work in on campus where they work with programming a robot. So there are a lot of things that you can do on campus. I don't think we have a specific robotics organization, but you can take that and apply it in a lot of different areas. And in terms of integrated master's programs, we do have many of our majors that offer what we call accelerated master's programs. So those are going to be a bachelor's plus a master's program within 5 years. So you will start taking those master's courses, maybe your junior year as an undergrad, and then add one more year on, and you're done with your master's and your undergraduate program. So those are great options, and most of our majors offer those.
Amazing. Okay, so I'm going to quickly shoot the other one. Okay, let me first take all the questions related to engineering, guys. I see a lot of you have questions about the Arizona Academy scholarship general. We'll answer that towards the end. Okay, ma'am, do you offer double majors? Let's say, for example, aerospace with mechanical. Is double major common on campus, Kelly?
Yes, yes. So many of the majors pair nicely together. So aerospace and mechanical is a very popular double major or a major and minor, depending on how much you want to do in terms of additional coursework. But you can do that in 4 years. Many times students will complete that because they have a lot of overlap in terms of the curriculum. Aerospace and mechanical are in the same department, so they work very closely together. Many of those students are taking classes in the other major or double majoring or minoring. So that's a very common double major. You can also do a minor or a double major if you're feeling very ambitious in a program outside of engineering. So for example, I know students who have a minor in a language because they want to work globally, or maybe they have a minor in fashion or music or something that is really an interest area for you. So you can also pair your engineering degree just with something that you love, because college is a great time to explore all of the things you're interested in. So you can also do a major or a minor in a program outside of our college if you would like. My number one piece of advice for thinking about a double major or another minor is to talk to your academic advisor. Once you start on campus, you do have to apply to a single program. So typically you cannot declare a double major through the application process. That would be something you would do with your advisor once you arrive to campus, and they can advise you on how to do that and the best way to complete the program of study that you have in mind.
Amazing. And just a follow-up question, for my curiosity, because a lot of students do end up asking us that when is the time when they get to declare a major and minor? So typically, when does, that time come when they really have to decide?
Sure. So most students will, for engineering, because you come into the college in general, most students will declare within the first year. Typically after that first semester course, after you get to meet all of the programs, most students will have an idea of which path they want to take. But you can take a more general course of study that first year. Most engineering curriculum is similar. In the first year, it's math and it's science and your English and general education here and there. So you can take a whole year to decide if you would like. But after about a year or 3 semesters, your advisor will be prompting you to go ahead and decide which program you want to pick. So that way you stay on track to graduate on time. That's also very important to us. We want to make sure that you are moving along in your courses and able to complete within that 4-year span.
Absolutely. Okay. A lot of interest for students, for the on-campus opportunities, the jobs that generally students get to do. So what are the minimum wages or per hour or something that the student can expect to earn while they are working on campus?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So there are a lot of job opportunities on campus. So we actually have an online app that you can use on your phone or online where students can apply to jobs all over campus. So that could be something like working in our student union, for example, or that could be we hire student workers in our office in the engineering college. So we have students that help with, with grading, or you could work as a grader or a tutor for other students. So typically speaking, most of those jobs are minimum wage, which here right now in the US is $12.50 an hour. So most of those jobs are $12.50 an hour. However, I will say for things like an internship as an engineering student, you will typically earn much more than that when you are working over the summer or as an intern for an engineering company. So that's a great way that many of our students kind of save up money for supplies, for their classes, or for the year ahead to kind of supplement them along the way. And of course, we talked about those merit scholarships, but once you are in your curriculum, you can also apply for scholarships within your major. So many of our programs have additional scholarships that you can apply for, for example, only for civil engineering students. So once you are in your major, you can apply for those scholarships that you may qualify for to add on as you go throughout your program.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I think the departmental scholarships or the major specific scholarships are an add-on. That's great.
Yes.
I know students, we have a couple of scholarship questions. So I think Kelly has, dealt one part of it, there are so many options that you can look at. A lot of you have put in, direct messages and requests about the overall scholarship. So yes, there are resources available. There is scholarship available. However, you have to be academically eligible. A holistic profile is looked into. So make sure that you work very hard, on your application and put up an application that really deserves, that kind of scholarship. Okay. So yeah, I mean, a lot of you have been sending me messages, it's great. And, I totally get you. And I understand that you are looking at scholarship, but ultimately it is a very competitive department that we're looking at, and scholarships are limited in number, and it's extremely competitive. So you need to, really work very hard. Okay. Agan is asking, will SAT score be considered if I attach it with my application? Kelly, from an engineering point of view, do you think?
So we are test optional. So that means that if you have a test score, you can submit it. As I mentioned, that can be really beneficial as you get towards enrollment and you're thinking about getting placed into the right classes. So, that can help you get placed into the right math course, the right English course, things of that nature. We do not require it. You may use it to help your application, but it cannot hurt you if you don't provide it, and it can also not hurt your application in general. So as Apurva mentioned, if you have it, and especially if you feel like you've done very well there and you want to really show that off to help support your application, you should absolutely submit it. It can't hurt to provide that because it can only help you, but it cannot harm you in the process. So if you do have it, feel free to submit it. There's a lot of ways you can use it, as I mentioned, to help get placed in the right courses and things like that. So it can supplement your application if you choose, but it is not required, and there is no penalty if you do not have it.
Okay, amazing. Okay, students, any more engineering related questions? Okay, I can see one. Shubham wants to know, Kelly, the last thing that you mentioned about major specific scholarships when they are on campus, what is the range generally like? Like, what can a student expect?
It really depends on, some of those are, for example, sponsored by an industry partner. So, for example, in mining engineering, I know we have companies that sponsor scholarships. So that will be different based on if it's, for example, a person, maybe an alumni of the university who is sponsoring a scholarship. Those could be anywhere from $500 to several $1,000s. That could be a one-time scholarship. It could be a scholarship that goes on for several years. It really depends. So there is some information on our website, and the university has a program called Scholarship Universe. So once you're admitted to the university, and as you go throughout your academic career, you can create a profile there, and that's where you log in later down the road and kind of see what you might qualify for in terms of additional scholarships. And most times you only have to fill out one application and it'll match you with the scholarships that fit you. So again, that could be, something that's open to just students in the College of Engineering, or it could be only students in your major that are eligible to apply. So that really improves your chances, in terms of winning some of those scholarships, because many of them are so unique and specific, maybe only open to students in your college, but they really run a wide range of financial amounts. So I can't really tell you exactly, but there are a lot of options available.
Amazing. Okay. We have some questions about the U Arizona Academy students. This webinar is not specifically for that, so I do not want to go in much detail. But like I mentioned, it is offered for grade 11 and grade 12. These are unique courses which are designed by the university and they can earn you credits. I have just put up the whole list of courses that is offered. So maybe you can download that if you want to compare it with your current curriculum and sign up for some additional courses that can earn you credits. Okay, these credits are transferable. Since they are college credits, you can transfer it not just to the University of Arizona, but you can also transfer it to any other US university where you're going to apply. Okay, can I do UG with robotics or AI? Is the next question, Kelly. Do we have any specializations that we offer?
I would say that wouldn't be a specialization that you would choose as a major. However, just like with the robotics question, there are a lot of different programs that would connect to that area of interest.
Right.
So that can include software, electrical, systems engineering. That could include even mechanical engineering, because mechanical engineers work on how to make things move and work. So if you're interested in creating or building robots, you might be really interested in mechanical engineering, or even something like material science. Material science engineers focus on how we use different materials that we have in our world and, create new things or new technologies. So absolutely, if you're interested in that type of area, one thing I would recommend is to do a little of research about the faculty in our college, or look online. Many of them have websites about their research areas, and you may find a faculty member who's working on something like artificial intelligence or robotics research, and you could connect to them and get to know them, or maybe even work in their laboratory. So there are a lot of ways you can connect to your different interest areas.
Great. Thanks, Kelly. There are some questions about maintaining your GPA, guys. Yes, I think, it will definitely help you if you maintain your GPA throughout those 4 years, because it will not just help you get into the major of your choice, but also, generally, even when you are graduating, I'm sure GPA is very, very important. And also when you're looking for jobs, when you're looking for on-campus jobs or internships, GPA is looked into. So you might want to, focus on that and maintain your GPA throughout your undergraduate journey. Okay. Some question about tuition fees, guys, for Indian students, or generally for international students. Let me just put it across like that. The tuition is about 37,000 US dollars. The living and medical insurance, etc., will come, additional maybe 16,000 US dollars. So a total of about 55,000 US dollars is something that you're looking at for 1 year. Okay. Out of that, up to 22,000 US dollars is merit-based scholarship, which is offered for academically talented, holistic profile students. Okay. So if you are interested in applying for scholarships, make sure you start early, you get all your documents in place, reach out to us, and we may be able to help you. Yeah. Okay. Can we change undergraduate major at any time?
Yes, you can, but you probably don't want to, or not. You probably don't want to change it your senior year, for example, because that way you're probably going to have to delay your graduation. So that's one of the reasons that we offer in engineering that first semester course, where you get to meet the program. So hopefully you select the program that is really right for you. However, of course, it happens. Students maybe get exposed to something they didn't know about before, and maybe their second year want to change pathways. So you can change your major, but of course, I would always advise you, again, to talk to your academic advisor before you make changes in your course of study, just to make sure that you are prepared for any additional coursework, or maybe you need some additional foundational courses to move into the major that you are thinking of if they weren't required for the program that you're in. So yes, there is some flexibility there, but always encourage you to talk to your advisor before you make any changes or additions, just to be sure that you're staying on track.
Great. Amazing. Okay, so we're almost there towards the end. Any last questions, guys? Do you have aircraft maintenance engineering?
Not that specific, but we do have aerospace engineering. So if you're interested in working with planes or aircraft, aerospace engineering would probably be the program you'd want to pick, because they are going to learn those concepts of mechanical engineering, as well as learning about flight and how planes work and how all of those things work together. Someone has asked for the email address, so I did put that in the chat. The best way to reach us is that ENGR-admissions. So my colleagues and I all have access to that email account, so we can be sure to answer your questions moving forward. So you're certainly free to ask any other engineering related questions at any time by sending us an email there, and we will certainly get back to you as soon as we can.
Amazing. Some more scholarship related questions, guys. Yes, it is every year, not divided in 4 years. Up to $22,000 is every year. So if you get, let's say 15,000, it'll be 15 into 4. That is for all 4 years. If you are an undergraduate student who's studying at an Indian institute, okay, can you get internships at UA? Most possibly no, because you'll have to be a full-time student there, okay, at the University of Arizona, unless of course you want to be a transfer student. So you might want to consider the transfer option. And even if you spend maybe 1 year studying here with an Indian institution, you can take a transfer to any of these departments and choose a major and go on with with your undergraduate in the US. Yes, we are on Common App, guys. We are on Common App. I would recommend you to use Common App, or just simply get in touch with us, to make a direct application on the website. It's pretty simple. It will barely take, 15 to 20 minutes of your time. So you can use, the website link also to put in your application. Post this webinar, I will send you all the necessary details with the links, so that you know what are the next steps. Okay, I think those were a lot of questions. And I'm sure Kelly had a great time interacting with all of you. Kelly, I want to hear from you. How was your experience?
Yes, thank you so much for your attention today and all of your questions. It's so great that you are all interested and engaged, and I really appreciate your enthusiasm. So I'm very honored to be here, and we hope to hear from you all as you're thinking about your options for university here in the US. So thank you so much for inviting me, and it was great to meet all of you.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Really want to extend our thanks and appreciation for you to take out the time early in the morning. I know the timings don't work quite well, but thank you so much. And students, all the very best with your applications. Get in touch with us, and we would love to see you be a part of the University of Arizona family. Thank you. Have a nice day. Have a great weekend.